Hello everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Roblox updates. This is going to be more of a serious video rather than your funny like me making point blank videos, point blank update videos, or just random things I make in Roblox Studio. This is going to be more of like me just talking about these updates that Roblox is making. I'll have some videos from the inspiration that I took from other videos. This video is heavily inspired by other videos, so I'll have them linked down in the description. I highly recommend you go watch those before this video, because this video is just a compilation of all my thoughts on this whole matter, including those videos too. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's start off with this. Roblox is pushing these bad updates. So let's say, for example, the classic faces. They said they were gonna like maybe remove classic faces for dynamic heads, but they gave an improvement to that update, to that bad update, which people still didn't appreciate. But they said, hey, it's better than removing classic faces, right? So they started saying like something like W Roblox or whatever, and then they pushed a good update, right? And basically, this is what they're just doing. You're seeing a cycle over and over again, and this happens also with 2D clothing. As mentioned in one of the other videos I linked down in the description, they mentioned about how 2D clothing, like millions of 2D clothing, were going to be taken down, right? And they already have been taken down. Um, and that's a bad update. Then they make an improvement to said bad update, which is like the bad update that Roblox pushed in that scenario was them raising the prices of Robux needed to upload a 2D clothing item. You also need to be Plus or Premium. You need to have an active subscription to that. And you also need to be ID verified. That's the bad update. But then an improvement to that bad update was that they lowered the prices to like 80 Robux per upload, which is still really bad, and they still slash down the revenue from clothing from 70% to 30%. And then they pushed this good update, which is yet to be seen because it happened so recently. And I'll just visualize what this does to the community as a whole. So let's say you have, this is our initial bad update. We're going to label this with a B, and we're going to have a red color. This is our bad update, right? And then Roblox continues to make a good, or no, an improvement to set update, where I'm going to label this as an I for improvement and make this orange. So this is the bad update. They make an improvement to said bad update, and this bad update is going to be moved to a later date so that they can get players' minds off of it. And then at that same time, they're also going to push a good update. So we're just going to fill this in with green, right? And we're going to make this G for good. This is a good update. They announced the bad update first. Then they announced the good update to get everyone hyped, but there's still a bad update coming later after the good update. And nobody's gonna notice until it actually hits. And this is where it starts to actually get bad. And I'm just gonna give some examples. So, as I mentioned before, classic faces, they said they were going to remove classic faces in favor of dynamic heads. Then they made an improvement saying they weren't going to remove all of them and make them AI generated 3D animated heads. And then they moved that to a later date and they pushed out a good update. I forgot what it was, but they did push out a good update to get our minds off of this, which it's basically just a psychological operation at this point. Like, I don't even know what else you can call it. And this has also happened with, let's say, the AI chat feature. So you have the bad update, which is basically you remove chat. Then, well, you remove chat for non-verified users. Then you make an improvement, which is just putting, what is it, like those lock thingies? Or no, it wasn't that. It was the AI like chat summaries, and they put no good update for this one. This good update is actually completely optional. You don't really need it. It's just you need these two, but the improvement, if you don't want a good update, you need the improvement to be heavily pushed. So what they did is they pushed their generative AI summary really hard. They pushed it really hard to make it look like it was good, and it was still trash. That's basically just what keeps happening with every Roblox update. Now, the audience's reaction. So, um, let's. I'm sorry, Creekcraft, but I'm gonna have to put your thumbnails on screen. But the reason Creekcraft's titles keep going like, yes, Roblox listened, L Roblox, what are you doing? The reason it keeps doing that is because Roblox keeps doing this same tactic. And this is, I'm trying to show the audience's reaction to all of this. So basically, what Roblox will do is they'll push out a bad update. Everybody's gonna be like, no, boo, Roblox, what are you doing? And then they're gonna push out a good update. And then they're gonna like, and then like the community's gonna be like, W Roblox, what? No way. Because Roblox pushed out a good update. This is basically like one step forward, 10 steps back, as a wise man once said. And it keeps fluctuating between W Roblox, L Roblox, W Roblox. This has also happened with the quote unquote egg hunt, which is the hatch. We all know what happened with the hatch, or the hunt, or the hunt mega edition, or whatever it was called. The hunt. The classic wasn't that bad, but it was still not good. The egg hunts were way better. And I know I'm getting a little sidetracked on this, but Roblox never seems to actually care. And I know many people have brought this point up, but nobody actually seems to care that Roblox doesn't care. They don't really go into depth about how they don't care. And now we move on to the updates. So here's one for example. The chat update, they remove chat for a bunch of people, bring it back with the AI chat, and then they also bring back quick chat, but it doesn't really work well. I've barely seen any people using it outside of like tactical games. Um Then you have the purge of a bunch of 2D clothing, and now you have to have like a plus subscription or premium subscription. You have to pay a massive fee, and your revenue gets slashed down by 40%. That's just outrageous, and the good update has yet to come. But the Roblox community has become so desensitized to these kind of updates that nobody really seems to care. I haven't seen many people talking about the 2D clothing incident, about like them purging millions of them. So moving on, I won't really look at these three at the bottom because I'm not much of a financial guy. But what I can tell you is that okay, let's look at DAUs. If you don't know what DAUs stand for, it means daily active users in millions. So it climbed up in quarter three of 2025. People started leaving quarter four of 2025. So it went from 152 million to 144, and it kept decreasing, which it looks to be on a decrease course for the rest of the year. So it struck in the fourth quarter of 2025, it struck its peak, or in the ending sections of 2025, it struck its peak at 70% and 69% of YoY growth, and then it proceeded to go down more as we entered 2026. So you can see it went from 144 million to 132 million to 123 million. And quarter two of 2026 just ended, and it only had 123 million players, daily active players in the millions um every day, right? And it looks to be on more of a downward slope from here unless Roblox takes action, investors come back, and Roblox learns their lesson. Let's look at hours engaged in billions. So we can see the trend coming over from daily active users. So second quarter of 2025, it was pretty low. It went up in quarter three, and it started to go down a little bit in quarter four of 2025. Then it went down and even lower in quarter one and two of 2026. Um, I would expect this. I would expect quarter three to go lower if Roblox keeps making these bad decisions, and if Roblox keeps doing this, chances are that investors won't come back. Now, let's look at revenue. And as we can see, revenue has slowly climbed up, but it stayed relatively the same since about quarter four of 2025, and that should give you about a good idea of how like it's staying stable, but you want it to go up. You don't want it to stay stable, because if you have it stay stable for too long, it's only going to go down. Now, let's look at Roblox stock. So, if we look at Roblox stock, you can check the last year and you see that it's down 72.76%, which is minus $95 in the past year. It it spiked around 141 all time last in the past year, and it's only been going downhill from there as we continue on to the year, and it only just recently went all the way down from around 50. It stayed stable around 50 all the way down to 40, and then now 35 as we speak right here. So this should just show how the bad updates are not only affecting the consumers, we that play Roblox, but also the investors, the people that are fueling Roblox. Now, that was a lot of investor jargon. Let's talk more about, let's say, a consumer standpoint. So, let's say, like, we as players, right? How is this impacting us? Well, you can see that Roblox players are leaving, such as major icons as Creekcraft are moving over to GTA 5. Least expected thing, but it happened. Um, People are spending less Robux, which explains how the amount of players were climbing in 2025, but the revenue from Roblox stayed about the same. And the players players find that the ability to not customize your avatar as much is really bad, because when you remove more than half of the 2D clothing on the platform, it is going to affect your platform, because forcing people to use a avatar package that they do not want to use is just horrible. And it's horrible for a lot of reasons. One of them being that if you don't have free avatar customization, you're just gonna go on the rec room path where you get so irrelevant that you eventually die, with people having good memories of your platform being at its peak. So what you can do, what we can do as a platform, when we push for better updates, Roblox will sometimes give us improvements to their bad updates, and that's a step at least in the right direction. But once they do that good thing, good in heavy air quotes, once they do that quote unquote good thing, we just stop pushing Roblox to make better updates, and they don't learn anything from that. If you were pushing a car up a hill and then you see it, oh yeah, it's going pretty well. Okay, let's let it go. It's going to roll back down. So what we need to do as a community is not let that roll back down. But then again, it is majorly Roblox's fault for doing this, because they destroyed their own platform by implementing generative AI following the big tech giants. Not only that, but also destroying their economy, their players' freedom of choice, which was shown in the classic faces and also the avatar packages and 2D clothing, but also it was very much shown in the chat restriction update. Another thing that I also want to know is that Roblox has killed off so many good games. Like, I'll just put a bunch of them up on screen. Roblox has killed off so many games that are classic, and they never brought them back up. And one majorly horrible thing about this is that this is actually decreasing their player count. And that is not what Roblox wants. They want to make themselves look good for the investors, but they're making themselves look worse by actively decreasing their player count. Um, on that note, I just want to that's a lot of talking. So basically, a big TLDR. Roblox is making a bad update, then they make a whole cycle of it. People's reactions fluctuate. Investors aren't happy. Consumers obviously aren't happy. And what you can do, push Roblox to make better updates. Don't stop doing it. Um, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching. Bye.